Hi to everyone. Welcome to another chapter of Fatu Ura. And we have the honor right now this day with Siaosi Veimau that is with us. He's a very talented musician, a very talented artist in the world of Ori. So welcome, Siaosi.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here with us. We know you have a pretty packed agenda. You already have like your place where you're training, where you teach people the dancing, the training, the having a fit life experience. And we know you have lots of things to do, and we want to thank you for sharing your time with us. It's an honor for us having you here. We know you are an awesome dancer. Let me tell you that every time I look at your videos while dancing, my skin is like I don't know how to say it in English, but my skin gets like, oh my God, that guy's face, that guy's strength, that guy's
The way that you transmit the things.
yeah, that's awesome. And we want to thank you for letting us see how you share and how you love to share your culture, what your culture means. And we have a little bit of questions. We don't want to get like really long in the beginning of the conversation. And we want to ask you, for the people who doesn't know who Siaosi Veimau is, please, how can we say all those characters, the Siaosi teacher, the Siaosi dancer, the Siaosi husband, the Siaosi trainer, the Siaosi coach, how can we know the correct way of the Siaosi's life?
Well, most people will not understand who I am. For example, for you, you only know me as a performer. You'll never ever truly get to understand who I am because we don't spend enough quality time for you to understand what's going on in my head and the way that I process things and the way that I work. So it's really hard for people to understand who I am. Like you said, everybody sees me as a character in their life, and they truly never get the opportunity to truly understand who I am. Because most people look at me as a dancer, as a teacher, as a gym owner, and a personal trainer. Those are all traits of who I am, and it does not define. It is not who I am. It doesn't define me. Yes.
And how can we think of you? No, not think of you. How can you define who you are to the people as a teacher, as a performer, as a dancer,
you know, it's such an unknown area because I'm constantly in a space of self-developing myself to become not the person that I was yesterday, yet who I could be tomorrow in the next several days. So to take a look at my life and who I am is uncertainty. Mm-hmm. I am uncertainty in a sense, because I don't live and I don't dwell in who I am in the past. I'm always looking forward to discovering something new about myself.
Like you're always changing and evolving to something new? Yes,
up here.
Okay.
So that's why I don't see myself as a dancer. I don't see myself as a trainer. I don't see myself as a teacher. I'm a student of life. I'm always learning about what's going on in my head and the way that I process things and how I could become a better person than I was yesterday.
Beautiful.
And we want to ask too, for the people that doesn't know you, where you born? And where
okay, I was... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. Where you born?
I was born in the island of Tonga, which is in between Fiji and Australia, in the middle ocean there somewhere.
Okay. En alguna parte.
In the middle of somewhere. We haven't had the opportunity of meeting any of the islands of the French Polynesia yet. We are preparing ourselves for going there and having the opportunity to get a little bit of any of the islands. But I believe that people like me and for many others who doesn't know about the culture, you can tell us about what does it mean to be part of the French Polynesia, to be born on an island, right? The opposite way of the opposite side of the planet we are living on, and how is it that now in 2022 you're living at America, teaching classes and doing all this, and apparently sharing the culture from your roots?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me correct something. I am not from French Polynesia. I'm not Tahitian. I am Tongan. However, I do dance. I have participated in half of my life, majority of my life, dancing like the Ori, right? So,
Yeah.
And the second question is, being from the island, there's no difference. The only difference is a location.
Okay.
We're all human beings, and we live life differently. We just, being in the island, you grow up in such a small space that all you have is what you have, and you enjoy what you have. And culture just becomes part of that, what we can do to stay alive and stay together, right? There's no difference in what we do in the islands and what you guys do here, or what you do in Mexico. We're always reaching for somebody to keep us occupied, so that way that we have it, that we're busy, and that we're learning something. There's no difference in what you guys in your dancing for your Mexican, the way that you guys dance, than the way that Polynesian dance. We dance to keep ourselves busy and keep ourselves elevated. Top of that, it's a lot of fun.
So when you changed your place where you live from the island to America, you never saw or have the experience of like a different way of thinking of the people, a different like traditions. How do you do it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, when I first got here to the United States, it is different. It is different because we're in the island. All I know is what I know in the island, and when I got here, it's a bigger place, right?
Yeah.
So I'm having to learn a lot more about life, a different experience, in what I see and what's around me. My surrounding changes the way that I think.
Yeah.
Right? And it just really just depends on where you're at in life.
Yeah.
Just where you're at in life. There's no difference. Like I said, when I say there's no difference, we all grow up and we all want the same thing. We all want to be respected. We all want to be loved, and we all want to have purpose in life. There's no difference in that.
Yeah.
There's no difference in whether you're Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Tongan, Mexican. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's culture.
That's culture, and that's a great message that you're sharing with us tonight. We want to thank you for letting us for teaching us. I mean, I have seen many videos of you teaching people, but not only dancing or something about the culture. I mean, I've seen you sharing messages, not for a lady, not for a man, not for an American, not for a Tongan, not for a Mexican. I've been seeing you sharing message for human beings. We all wanted to be ¿cómo se dice? Comprendidos. Understood. We want to be, as you said, loved. We want to be. We want to feel lots of things, and you're sharing I don't know. I
Yeah.
The weight of your words, they're heavy words, they're heavy messages.
I don't have it. It's heavy, right? We all learn different things in our life, and sometimes we get pulled into what we're doing in life, and we have no control. For example, for myself, I love dancing, and I got pulled into dancing because I enjoy dancing.
Yeah.
And I spend majority of my life dancing, and I have got lost in dancing that I forget who I am.
But you were sharing
who I am as an individual.
Oh, okay.
Who I am in what I'm capable of doing. So I got lost in dancing, and I forget to grow who I am. So I'm growing in my experience of life. I grow in my thoughts about how to do certain motion. Like I grow in the dancing aspect, but I don't really grow as a human being.
Oh my God. We want to ask you, we don't want to be rude with the words we're choosing. As we said before, it's not a native language.
Yeah.
But how old are you, Mister?
51.
51. How old were you when you came to live to America?
11.
11.
Wow.
Those are 40 years different. Those are 40 years of another human being, another consciousness, another era. How can you say that traveling to the other side of the planet has changed the way you see things and has changed the way you get to know the things and to get to share what you used to when you've been taught at where you were born?
Say that one more time. Ask that question one more time.
Oh my. How can you say that the way you have learned the things you were taught at your island where you were born have changed the way you see the life now, having another culture or way to see the things?
Yeah. So where I come from is very basic. I traveled to Guadalajara. I traveled over Mexico, and it's the same thing. All we want is simplicity. We human beings want something that's simple. Simplicity is the way of life. But we overcomplicate things with our thoughts and what we want and what we need. And so the way that I was brought up is like everything you don't need much. You need just enough to get from A to B and B to A. You don't need the abundance of finance. But we in general are constantly chasing what we call the money, right?
Yeah.
We're always chasing. We're always going to work. We're always chasing something to fulfill what's missing for us. And finance, finance sometimes get in the way, or money gets in the way of us being just human and enjoying the smaller things in life, like family, right? Yeah. Like hanging out at the park, like drinking a cup of water, smaller things in life. And it doesn't always have to be nice and fancy. It's unnecessary.
Like as you said, in the morning you wake up, that's it. No.
Yeah, and when you say that, when you wake up in the morning, the majority of us here in America, in the world, we don't wake up and do that.
Yeah.
We wake up and we already have a plan in our mind of what we have to do. And we miss the opportunity to take a look at the sunrise.
Yeah. To have that little bit of a pause at your life, right?
Just, you miss it. You miss everything. Yeah. Because we're already programmed to get up and run. And the next thing you got to go to sleep. You wake up the next morning, you're doing the same thing over. Every day we're doing the same thing over and over again. And then we get up, one day we're going to be 60 and we're like, what the hell do we do from life? And we realize that it's a blur. Life is a blur.
Yeah.
Because you haven't done anything different to transform the way that you think, the way that you see human beings, and the way that you see yourself.
Yeah.
And you take a look at your parents. What have your parents done in the last 40 years? Have they done the same thing over and over again?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ask him, what's your experience of life?
He's going to ask me, what's that? What do you mean?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because he'll talk to you about, most likely he'll talk to you about how he's worked or whether he works or not and the things that he likes.
Yeah.
And you also want to take a look, right? Do you really have a relationship with your father? Or do you only know your father as a child? Do you really have a real conversation with your father?
Yeah, we are, it's different. And sometimes it's hard for people to understand this kind of thoughts or this kind of way of thinking or the way of seeing life, because we only see them as a parent, as a mister, as a character, or as a person, but we don't see what's behind that. And he's the result of the teaching of my grandpa on him. And we are the results of our grandfathers teaching our father. And it's I don't know how to say, I'm not quite sure on how to explain this in English.
I understand. I truly get what you're saying. You're just a byproduct of your parents.
Yeah.
Your father's a byproduct of his parents and his grandparents.
Yeah.
So you end up being the same.
Yeah.
So you understand.
You don't do this with your fingers, and and you have seen the truth. Once you have seen the truth, it is really simple to do this and do nothing.
Right. So in other words, you're going to end up just like your father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your father end up like being his father.
Yeah.
And his father being like his father. So in other words, you live a life of doing the same thing over and over again.
A cyclic life.
It's a cycle. There's no difference. So you end up like being just like your father. Except maybe you might be more handsome. But that's it.
I want to ask you, Siaosi, where or at which part of your life you get this message of life, or you learn this? Because when we have a philosophy in our lives, there is something in our lives that change us, that give us that knowledge, that give us that experience, and then we, from that point to the future, we start making that in that way. Where does that happen, or which part of your life happen?
Well, it really starts from childhood. All of my experience as a childhood, my experience of life as a child, has an impact of who I am and who I get to be as an adult.
Yeah.
So I'm in the way that I've seen myself is I grew up a certain way, and it had a big impact on my life. It had a positive impact and a negative impact. And so my part has always been to reflect of who I was and what I could be. How to love people and how to love human beings. So it's always been part of my culture, part of the teaching back at home, to be humble, to stay humble. But really, it was after my double lung transplant where I sat around after 6 months after my double lung transplant. I complained to God, why would you bring me back to this earth and have me be the same person? Because when I woke up, I was the same person. There's no difference in the way that my mind thought. I was going back to doing the same thing over and over again. And I didn't like that. And so that was the beginning of having life transformed, because I didn't like the person that I was.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Please, what age were you at that time?
I was like 42.
Okay. 9 years ago.
Yeah, 42, 43. Yeah.
Okay. And you were saying, please?
Yeah. I didn't like I said, I didn't like the person who I was, the way I turned out to be, and the way that I showed up for the world, the way that I showed up for my family, the way that I showed up for myself. So while everybody sees a completely different me, the entertainment part of who I am, but who I was up here I wasn't at peace with who I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I had to be truthful with myself and say, is this the person that you want to be? And so I had to go and really take a look at my life and how I can transform my thoughts, have a different perspective of life, and actually have life become a teacher of mine, and having my own experience be transformative. And what I go through in life really teach me. My experience of life gets to teach me what I'm going through.
And
I'm sorry, we're kind of missing you a little bit.
I'm still here. Are you there?
Yeah, like the last 5 seconds, we didn't get them so much.
Which part?
You were saying that you get to be humble, and you change the way of seeing us.
Yeah.
I get what that you're trying to tell us is like, you said you had these experiences and you were angry with the results you were having because you were being some person and you started being your own teacher to be different, not only on the way of thinking, but on the way of on acting.
100%. Right? Like you and like your father, we learned what we learned from our past and from our fathers. So all I knew was how my father was, and the way my brother taught me, and the way my family taught me. And so there was no me. There's no me because all I know is something somebody has taught me. So I have no original thinking. There's no thinking at all. I just become a robot of life. Just like you. You're a robot of life. You're just doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
As we wake up, it's like waking up, going, brushing your teeth, going to the bathroom, washing your face, taking a shower, whatever that is. That's the way we operate. You don't need to think. It just happens.
Yeah. We don't have the opportunity of decide where do we born, but we have the opportunity of choosing how to feel, how to react to certain things on life.
Right. Right. You know, it's like when somebody yells at you, what's the first thing you want to do when somebody yells at you?
Yeah.
What is the first thing you do? What comes to mind when somebody yells at you?
To yell him back, but it's not. It's not.
Right.
Yeah, but that's the automatic thinking, right?
Yeah. Right. And they're in the automatic way of thinking, then you're being that program. You're just being a robot of life.
Yeah.
Because you're born with it.
Yeah,
right? But for somebody that's taking some time to look at their life, somebody screens at them, and like first thing that comes to me, or it used to be, I'm gonna beat you up right now. I'm gonna take you outside and I'm gonna like kick your ass, right?
Yeah.
So now when somebody yells at me, and the first thing that comes to mind, like, how can I help you? Is everything okay? Do you need help?
You need a hug?
Sometimes. All depends who it is. Take it easy, fella.
You said a word that is like reproducing echo in my head. You said enough. like a couple minutes ago, and many people does not know what enough means at all. They don't have the correct definition of what enough is, because they have been taught to always be on this career of pursuit of more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
And they don't get to know what enough is. What can you say that enough means to you right now at this part of your life?
Yeah, enough for me is that it's accepting what I have and what I don't have. I don't have $1 million. I'm okay with it. Right? I just accept what I have and what I don't have, which then allows me to have a peace of mind. I'm not trying to make $1 million or $1 billion. I'm not. Because if I have to make $1 million, $1 billion, then I'm going to spend the rest of my life working and not living. But that's what we're conditioned to. We're conditioned to go make as much money as you want, as you need, so that when you get older to be 60, then you can start living.
Yeah.
And then when you get to 60, what do you have? 10 years left to live life and you die?
If so.
Right. So I say live now and then let the rest happens later.
That's the way you teach your students that you have in Ori thing, because I think that all this message you share it to your students. It doesn't matter if they are learning with you, dancing, performing, whatever. You worry how to take this message in their minds, in their lives.
Yeah, all I can really have is a conversation with them about what's going on in their life, and allow people to choose for themselves what is it that they truly want in life. Because if you don't know what you want, you can't say this is what I want out of life. I want to work really hard. I want to have $1 million, or I want to have a peace of mind. I want to have a family, and I want to settle. But you have to say, most people would have to say what they want out of life. And then maybe there's a conversation where I can have them take a look at what is it that they want and how to pursue what they want.
Yeah. What do they truly want?
Yeah. Not because they're pushed, not because they're forced, but what they truly want for themselves.
Yeah. What do you think? How can you say, or for people who does not know how to get the definition of enough, how can you say they can start like making these activities, or switching their thinking to stop pursuing that people's think they should have? And what are the correct questions to make to you, so they can have like that inner conversation?
Yeah, there's no right or wrong questions, right? But you can start with having people take a look at their life. Are they happy? Are you truly happy? And most people would say, yes, I'm happy, when they're not. You get that? Most people would say, yes, I'm happy, when they're in life, they're not really happy. And this is the part where you have to be truthful to yourself when you actually say, yeah, I'm not happy, and I want to transform, or I want to change something that would have me truly be happy. Happiness in the sense that what's going on in here is there's a ease, there's a mind, there's ease in your mind, and all the voice is not chattering. There's no conversation that's happening here. You can walk around just being with people, because this is not loud. What's happening in here is not loud. I think if people truly understand what having a peace of mind is, that what goes on in their mind doesn't have to exist or has to be as loud as it is. they can find out, when people can find out, they'll understand what having a peace of mind is, and being okay with people in the way that they are.
That's a great message, and I really admire you, the way you think, the way you transmit it. And now I understand how is that you're such a good performer, and you're such a good teacher, that you transmit and you can get into the heart and the souls of your students that you have. Now I get it. Now I get it. The clear message of how is that a teacher stays in their mind of their students forever, for the whole life, And I really appreciate that, and I admire you for that.
Thank you so much. Like, whatever admiring is. Give me a second. There's no class today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is there one on Thursday?
There is one on Thursday. Something happened. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, I got it. No, thanks. Sorry.
No,
Don't worry.
Don't worry about it. Well, this kind of messages is like having, I'm not quite sure if the word is correct, the tattoo, but not on the skin, but into the soul, or and the spirit of the person. Because as we were talking 5 minutes ago, we are the results of our teeth parenting on us, but we have the opportunity to get to know people like you. And you share these kind of messages, you have like this printing on our souls and our minds, on our consciousness, and it's like spread the word. The knowledge wouldn't be knowledge if you're not sharing it.
Yeah.
And you don't only have the knowledge, you're sharing it. You're sharing your experiences, your way of thinking, and it is beautiful, man. It is beautiful, mister, and those are beautiful words.
No message here. We're just having a conversation. And this is what's really missing in the world, is people having a conversation that we can all learn from each other.
Yeah, they're always busy at their phones.
Yeah. Or they're just busy in general. They're just too busy not to get connected. Like, most people are unwilling to take the time to be connected to human beings. Like, most people are stuck in their living and judging people for who they are and who they are not.
Yeah.
And in that world, there is no connection. And that's why there is like war in the world, because we're unwilling to sit down and say that you're a human being, you're somebody's mom, you're somebody's father, you're somebody's son, you're somebody's grandfather, you're somebody's daughter, you're somebody's little baby, you're somebody's mother. And in having conversation that we get related as human beings is what brings light to this world. And at this moment, it's missing.
Yeah, the most part of the time that people just have short, common conversations like, how are you? Fine, you? That's it.
Yeah.
And you don't get anything new. You don't learn anything. You don't get you don't know really how is the other person, And
Yeah.
you don't have that, I don't know how to say it, that way of sharing ideas, or sharing thoughts, or sharing ways to see the life, or to feel the life, and that it's something that is lost totally.
Yeah, and it's just connection.
Yeah.
We all are just missing connection now. And you have to, this is not, look, you don't look at the world, right? But look at your own life.
Yeah.
Where in your life are you missing connection with your mom, your father, your brother, your sister, those that you love? Is it just surface? Or are you also just saying, hi, bye, good to see you, and not really sit down and really ask, how really are you doing? Yeah. You have to take a look at your life. In what area of your life that you're doing that? And it's only when you can take on your life one person at a time, that you take on your life and to see the way that you're responding to things, in the way that you do your life, you live your life, that you can experience something that's powerful, that then the person next to you can experience. And experience a brand new you, as in a world of unrecognizable. What can you do to be different in the way that you show up tomorrow, that people go, who the hell are you? I don't see you.
Yeah.
I know of you, but I don't know who this person is today. And that's a new way of being, and that's a new realm that the world is missing. Because, like you said earlier, we all learn everything from our fathers, and we stay being our father, and we pass it on to the next generation. And in this world, at this moment, and what the world needs is communication, right?
Yeah.
Just communication and connecting as human beings.
Yeah. And talking about your vision of, and the way you live your life, what is how do you see yourself? I don't know, like in 5 years, what you're going to be doing? Or
what am I going to be doing in 5 years?
Or you don't know, because by the same philosophy that you're always changing, you don't have it clear, or you have it something like a purpose, a very clear purpose in the future, but you can get to that purpose in different ways.
Yeah. I can only foresee myself in the next few years doing this live in Mexico. Having this kind of conversation live in Mexico. And that people are going to ask whatever it is they need to ask. Mm-hmm. And both of you are going to play a big part of that. I'm manifesting that both of you get to do this live. And we invite 2 people, 3 people, 100 people, 200 people.
Yeah.
That they get their answers. We get Q&As and questions and answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys get that?
Yeah, let's make it happen. But 5 years from now on, I believe that's like way far away from now on. But let's make it happen earlier. We would love to have this kind of conversation. It's not the same through a screen, and it's not the same when you don't get to see what. You're not seeing my hands the whole time, but we're never back here. And we don't want to be or sound rude while sharing or questions. And we have many questions more to ask you. And we don't want to be rude. We know we have this conversation booked like an hour ago. But how's your time right now? Are you able to having like a couple minutes?
I have about another 15 minutes.
Okay, it's okay. So if you want to share food to the people, how is to the Polynesian culture? Not Polynesian culture. What is it that you're transmitting? The Tahitian culture, the Tongan culture, the Fiji mixing of all the culture. What is what we're seeing on the stage when we're seeing Siaosi performing?
Yeah, I'm transmitting passion.
Passion.
Just passion, right? My love for culture. It doesn't matter what culture it is that I'm performing. It's whether it's a Polynesian culture, whatever culture that is. If I'm doing merengue, I'm doing merengue. And I do it with my passion because I love to. If I'm doing salsa, because I love salsa. I love to dance and I love to express myself in that way. And that goes with everything that I do. I do it with passion. Right? You take a look. I mean, you do what you do because you love to. And if you do it long enough, it becomes just part of who you are. If you do it with passion, it takes over who you are. right? So what I'm transmitting for myself, for people out there, is like passion to be alive and passion as a human being. And all I want to do is share that passion with people. And it's very simple. When you take a look at it, dancing is such a simple thing, right? But we're so captivated by our brain and the way it functions. We're so captivated with somebody's smile and somebody's energy, right? And we get lost in that, and we make that something, whatever that is. And that's what we get stuck on. We truly get stuck on how somebody dances, and we try to mimic that part of it, and we forget ourselves. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Most people doesn't get to ask themselves these kind of questions.
No.
Yeah.
They don't know this kind of questions exist at all.
Most people are unwilling to have this type of conversation.
Yeah.
Not too many people are willing to have this type of conversation. Most people are like, if we get in depth with our conversation, we talk about what's really going on inside and how I react to things and how I hate people, how I love people, and all the stuff that's happening inside my mind. Like most men are willing to go die for their country than to have a real conversation about life and what they're dealing with. Take a look.
Yeah.
Look how many people are in the military ready to go fight and kill somebody. Then you sit down and talk about what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're fighting for at all.
Yeah. And that's just a program, right? We all been programmed. We grow up, go to the military. Like, we have no say in life because we're already set. Your life is already predetermined how you're going to end up.
Deep.
And think about that. Think about all the kids that you see, right? Their life is already set.
Even if they don't want to, they don't.
Where do they know it? And they don't know it.
Yeah.
Because a system is already put in place for them to go to school and become this, become that, and become this, and become an employee.
Yes.
And there is no life in that. There's not an opportunity to live life. You only get to experience what somebody has put forth for you.
Yes, you have a family, you have a house, you have debt, you have everything, and then you are dead, and that's it.
Yeah.
This is your little sister, and you have to take care of her.
But you get it, right?
Yeah.
It's very similar. But we make it its responsibility. And my dad told me to do it. My mom told me to do it. And so we never really have a say in how to live our life.
And it's not their fault at all, because they don't know they have the power or the.
It's like they can teach you why they didn't learn.
It's just they're not present to what they're doing.
Yeah.
They too were also programmed.
Yeah.
But you at this moment of your life get to have that opportunity.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity for you to transform yourself in the next generation to become different and not end up the way your father did.
Yeah.
And you don't have to end up like your father if you choose to.
Yeah, if you choose, you have the opportunity to choose.
If you choose to.
But for that thing, you have to have experiences or something in your life that get you that message, that, like you said, when you were 42, you said that you get this consciousness about changing and everything. And during your childhood, you get all this message of changing every time. And that's kind of difficult for the people to hold the people to get that message and to start changing the pattern that they have been doing things.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, you can start that by having a real conversation with your mom, your dad, your brothers and sisters, and really check in, like, what are you doing? How's everything going?
Yeah.
And really change the way that you have a conversation so that they can be free to tell you what they're going through in life.
Yeah.
Start with that. Start telling people you love them and really give up your judgment of people and judgment of yourself.
Yeah.
Start with that.
Starting with yourself, yeah.
100%. Like Michael Jackson said it best, I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Totally.
The next one is, I'm asking you to change his ways, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. You can't transform the world, but you can transform yourself. And the domino effect of that is humongous.
Yeah, and that's
You
the
can't
message.
change anything unless you're willing to tell the truth tell the truth to yourself. Like, I'm stuck, I'm stupid, right? How do I get out of being stupid?
Yeah.
Like, why am I stuck with where I'm at? Why am I just sitting here pointing my fingers at everybody else and telling them that they're dumb and stupid and they suck? They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because it has nothing to do with those people out there. It has to do with you, yourself.
Inside yourself.
Yeah. Everything that you do in life is a reflection of who you are. The things that you say
Yeah.
to people, even when you think that you're right, it's still yours.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
when you think somebody's wrong, it has nothing to do with them. It's just how you have made this thing go nuts.
Yeah, they say that the things that you complain about is like a mirror.
Yeah, 100%. So it's not until you can go to work on yourself to truly see yourself and your reflection of yourself that you can transform. But it takes time. It really takes time to take a look, catch yourself being an a-hole, and go, I hate that person. I don't like that person. I don't like that person that's being an a-hole. And take a step back and go, I'm going to be different, or give you a word that you're going to be different, and stop practicing being different. Stop practicing responding differently.
Yeah.
So that way in the next 6 months, 7 months, you won't respond like that anymore. It's like the gym, right?
Yeah.
Our brains is just the same thing as muscles.
It's another
You
muscle.
constantly have to train it to act and react differently
Yes.
if you want to become different.
Yeah.
The thing is that there is no gym for the brain.
There is.
You have to create it. You have to create it. You have to create it by your own.
Yeah. Or you can go take on some course that would allow you to take a look at yourself.
Yeah.
What I tell people is, like, go spend 5 years in some kind of self-development program that would allow you to take a look at your life and the way that you act and react to things. So that way you can live the next 15, 30, 40 years of your life being free.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're going to be stuck just like your father, just like your mom, being the same thing, doing the same thing over and over again.
And your child is going to be the same.
Yeah. They will be there. There's no, not definitely, right? But most likely, if you don't transform, if you don't break the chain,
Yeah.
what's going to happen is you're going to just keep passing on the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep messages.
Was this a conversation you guys wanted to have, or was it about something else?
Actually, we get more than we were looking for.
Yeah, we were looking for having conversations with people like you, and we don't have like we have to have this and this and this and this.
We don't have.
We don't have that, but we're having this conversation with you. We're having this opportunity to get to know you a little bit more, and we want to thank you for sharing this knowledge. And like you said before, if there's time, and no, time's gonna be there. If there's life, we want to share this message and conversation with you face to face on another episode. And if life does not allow us to have that, another Zooming will be fine. So we want the people to get these kinds of messages from people like you. They don't have the same impact on the people when people like him or like me share this, but with personalities like you, it's different.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you for having this kind of conversation with us.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for both of you guys. Thank you for having the courage just to reach out. It really takes a big human being to reach out and to generate your conversation. Even though you were still on IG, it took something for you to reach out and say, "Hey, can we have a conversation?" Like I have it that you're that one person. Both of you guys are those people that's going to transform the next several years of people's lives.
Yeah.
Because you're willing to have a conversation about whatever that is for you guys. So thank you for reaching out and just going back to and your willingness to connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the same time, not having any idea what the hell this conversation, how it's going to end up.
Well, for the people who wants to know more about you, where can they find you on the social media, Instagram, Facebook, and where we can find more of your academia or fitness place?
Yeah, just have people go to Ramala Fit on IG.
Yeah, okay.
Or they can find me on what is the other one? TikTok, Siaosi Veimau. Or they can find me on Facebook under Siaosi Veimau.
Thank you. We're putting the links below so people that can follow you and know more about you. And we're ending this, guys. We hope to see you for the next episode. We want to thank you a lot for being here. It's been like an hour conversation. We want to thank you for if you get to this point of the interview. We want to thank you so much. Yeah. Please hit the follow, hit the like, hit the dislike if you want to. It does not matter. It is good. If it doesn't like you, you have any other thing you want to share with us, Mr. Siaosi?
Yeah. You have to be 51 to look this good.
Damn.
Maybe next time that we see you.
maybe we're 32. We'll still have like 19 years.
19 years to go, huh?
Yeah.
Boys, get on it.
Right. People, we want to thank you, and we're stopping this recording.